Hello, this is Robert with Beyond 20. Today we're working in Cherwell version 5, more specifically taking a look at Cherwell Web Services, CWS. It's one of the API connections available to interact within Cherwell directly. If you're looking for more information on creating a web service, such as integrating within SharePoint, refer to one of our other videos also on the YouTube channel. Today we're going to take a look at the API. If you take a look on my screen here, we're connected to the api.asmx page. This gives us a brief overview of all the different commands we can run. And if we want to pull up the WSDL, the Web Service Definition Language, we can have a better look into the infrastructure of how this API works. So I have this open up here in the other tab. This gives us a definition of what we can and can't do. These are all the available commands that we can essentially execute against the API, and we have an idea of what the responses are going to be and what we're expecting to get back. Today, let's take a look at this through the SOAP UI interface and have some examples on what restrictions we have in there and what we need to in order to send and receive commands. So go ahead and open up SOAP UI. And then let's create a new project. Just call it Cherwell Demo. And the WSDL link, that is actually going to be on the API page under the service description. If you just copy this one directly, that's what it's looking for. Go ahead and paste that in there and click OK. It's going to pull all the available definitions that we see in the WSDL and give us the ability to start sending commands. In order to log into Cherwell, we need to make sure we have a valid account. So let's go ahead and start logging in as the CSD admin. On the demo, it's just CSD admin for the username and password. So in order to send a new request, we want to right-click on Login and click New Request. And now this is the XML file that SOAP UI is going to send to the Cherwell API. So let's go ahead and fill out the necessary information. In between the items here, we'll need to enter in the CSD admin username as well as the CSD admin password. If you want this to be sent securely, you want to make sure that you have an SSL certificate installed and change the protocol to HTTPS. So in order to send the request, we want to click on the green Submit button here on the top left. And you'll see that went pretty quick. It says response was 19 milliseconds. So what we just did now is we sent the request to Cherwell via XML using SOAP, and we received another XML response. And the response here is now going to tell us whether or not that actually worked. So you'll see the login result shows true. That's good. That means that we were able to successfully log in. If we went ahead and changed the password to something that didn't work, you would see that it returns false. Some of the commands in the Web Services API will not actually return anything if the command's not structured correctly. So you definitely want to keep that in mind when you're messing around with SOAP. So let's go ahead and just make sure we're able to log in again. And the one thing we have to keep in mind is that Cherwell is actually handling sessions through cookies. So the cookies established in the response after your initial login. So in order to find out what that cookie value is, we have to pull up the header and scroll down here to where it says Set Cookie. And we need to copy this and make sure that this is available for any future requests that we're submitting. So let's go ahead and try to do a search. Let's try to find someone's rec ID based on their full name. In this case, we'll use Henry Bryce. So let's go find the request here. It's going to be query by field value. So we have the value of a specific field, and we want to actually find the rec ID that's associated with it. Go ahead and right-click on that and go to New Request. need to make sure we set the header. And then paste in the cookie that we grabbed from the previous request response. Make sure those two line up. Yep, they're good. Okay, on here, so it's looking for the business object name or ID. In this case, it's going to be customer internal, and then the name of the field. This is the internal name of that field in Cherwell, and that's going to be full name. And then the value we're looking for is Henry Bryce. So once we have that ready, we just submit it again on the top left, and you'll see the response. So the actual result is going to be XML as well. So you'll notice in here that the result has the LT, so the less than sign. So this is actually sending back XML data as a response, which depending on what type of system you're building this for, you may need to convert that into another XML object. But let's take a look at what it gives us. So it tells us that it's the customer internal table, so that's good. The ID of that table, and then we can see as we scroll further to the right, we'll see the Henry Bryce record, and then this is actually Henry's rec ID. So we can confirm that this is getting the right data by launching the blue pill and pulling up Henry's record. So happen to have Henry up on the screen, and just to find his rec ID really quickly, we'll go ahead and launch the system analyzer and then bring up the tree of values. This is one of the nice features here in version 5. The system analyzer just gives us some insight into what data is loaded on the screen, and we can see his rec ID right here matches what we received from SOAP. So that's pretty much it on SOAP UI. Hope you enjoyed watching the video. Be sure to check out the others. We have quite a few now on Cherwell Web Services, as well as integrating within other applications such as SharePoint. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date. And this was Robert with Beyond 20.